everyone, it's Libby from Meister Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, that's WORIMI, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides and the universal energies. Okay, get that out of the way, entertainment only. Absolute pleasure to have you along. Goodness me, didn't that weekend go quickly? Just absolute welcome to Blues Day at the moment. So much is going on at the moment. I have 2 pages instead of my normal one of notes of things that I want to read on. But what I actually am feeling a real pull to read on this morning is just to do a general energies reading about what is the future, some positivity, and just see what universe has to say to us at the moment. I've nearly finished Journey of Souls. I'm up to the absolute last case, so I'm hoping to sit down and read that this afternoon. Journey of Souls, fabulous, fabulous read. If you haven't read it already, seek it out, even if it's just from the library or online. And I'm about to start reading the fourth Turning the Time Is Now. This is the updated, I think it's got a red cover book. It's been sitting on my bedside table for about 4 weeks now. So there's an awful lot happening, and just to throw in a few bits and pieces on top, we've got an offer in on a block of land, so let me throw a house build on top of that if the offer is accepted. And my father-in-law is not well at the moment, so just spending some extra time there as well. So I will be on when I'm on, basically, which hopefully will be as often as currently. But if I don't get to your comments as quickly as I should, I do apologise for that. Now, I'm going to use the Lightseers Tarot, and I also want to have a look using my Nature's Whispers. I have no idea where my guides are going to take me today. I'm just feeling a pull to doing this particular reading. And the reason I'm doing so is that I was reading, actually, to be honest, it's my daughter's birth chart, astrology birth chart, and just opened it again and having a little read because there was a few factors that we were just talking about in regards to her birth chart, having a little bit of a laugh about some of the suggestions that are, yes, absolutely accurate, but she's like, yeah, no, I'm not going there. But one thing that really, really caught my attention was that the generation that was born between 1995 and 2008, the Gen Z generation, at the moment have Pluto and, well, they were born with Pluto and Sagittarius. And I'm just going to read this little blurb about Pluto and Sagittarius. And this ties in with the fourth turning, also ties in with Journey of Souls and other works of that ilk. But this generation, the 1995 to the 2008, the Gen Z generation, so I think that includes the likes of David Hogg, etc. These new, young, youthful energies coming through. Pluto is the planet of deep change, transformation, death, and rebirth. Pluto in Sagittarius is a placement that pretty much every Gen Z person has, born between 95 and 2008. So the oldest of those are that 30 age and starting to really come into their own. But the youngins, don't underestimate the youngins either. So those born between those dates are going to be the pioneers for a new wave of consciousness. Basically, the Pluto and Sagittarius generation is going to expand the consciousness of Earth into many perspectives, and the keywords being diversity and philosophies. Now, I found that really intriguing, that this generation that's coming through, and as a Gen X, I'm firmly in Gen X, I am more than happy to be a foundational mentor if they need it, or cheer squad, or just simply lay me on the foundations and build on me for this Gen X generation. So I do love that. Expand the consciousness of Earth into many new perspectives, so away from this one lane linear thinking, and the key words being diversity, so unity of diversity. It's not about separation diversity, it's about understanding that we are stronger with diversity and being diversity in philosophies. I really, really do love that descriptor there. And as I'm splitting the deck, here we have the Two of Cups. It is about coming together and creating magic. It is about embracing diversity and being the better for it. So what I want to have a look at, what is it, guides? What is it that you need us to draw strength from? Okay, that's the words they're giving me. Draw strength from going forward. I'm desperately trying not to mention politics in regards to this. So, oh gosh, tap into what brings you joy. And I know at the moment it might be a hard suggestion, what brings you joy. Tap into connection with spirit, connection with universe. Open yourself to connection with universe and embrace what your guides are bringing you. Okay, let's have a look. What do we need to know? What do we need to know going forward? Okay, I'm just going to do a little PSA here, something that my guides told me yesterday. If you are in the US and you are on some form of social security where you receive a benefit, my guides were telling me yesterday if you can, open a second bank account, possibly with a different bank. And as soon as your Social Security comes into the registered account, transfer it over into the other account. The reason I'm saying that is apparently they want me to re-emphasize it even during this reading, even though I didn't want to get into politics. The reason being is that I believe in the US with Social Security, if they think that you've been overpaid, they can go straight in and take the money out straight into the registered bank account. So just don't, $10 in the registered bank account or something along those lines. Move it out. Okay. I'm just going to say, yeah, they want this message to be heard, to be shared and heard. And here is the magician, the sleight of hand, the rabbit out of the hat, or just, this hand over here is doing this, so do with that hand. So basically, yeah, they're reinforcing that message. But guys, in regards to this new wave of consciousness, the pioneers going into this new energy, what do we need to know? What message do you have for us? What message do you have for us? The card that's flown out there. What message do you have for us? Okay, thank you. Come on down, let's have a look. Oops, let me just adjust my little mousy Mac. Now, for those that have commented on my volume, I do have a new microphone on order. Perhaps also just check the volume within the YouTube videos itself, because sometimes that can be lifted as well. Because I've got a few people saying that the volume is an issue, but others are saying it's not. So perhaps check within the video itself or in YouTube itself your volume setting. Okay. The signifier card that's brought out for me is the Queen of Cups. This is very much about emotional protection. It can be also about going with the flow. So this is an emotionally mature, open, but secretive. Okay, thank you. That's an interesting way to put it. Okay, thank you. I'm getting this card as the signifier is very much about opening yourself up to possibilities, opening it on an emotional level, opening yourself up to spirit to get the messages through, but also protecting yourself emotionally as well from what is going on in the physical. getting that this is the physical and this is the spiritual. So as you open yourself up to the spiritual messages, to the bigger picture, the greater plan, the reason why we have all chosen to be here at this time, just make sure you're emotionally protected on this 3D level. And that may mean turning off news, or instead of watching news, seek it out in the written form. Just protect yourself emotionally. Observe, but don't immerse yourself. Okay. Because these are really anxious times, not just for you, those in the US, but around the world, even down here in Australia, where we are relatively protected, but we've got an election coming up. I won't read on our election yet. It's in all of 33 days' time. It was announced on Friday. That's what happens in Australia. They announce an election, and basically 4 weeks later, or 4 weeks later, or 5 weeks later, we have it. Not this endless election cycle like some countries do have. It enables the government to actually govern for 3 years, and do what they need to do without it always being about pandering for the next election. But yeah, things are happening, and China's saber rattling at the moment. The US is no longer a dependable ally. There's anxiety down here, down under as well. As our opposition leader, who's vying for government, is very much a Felon 45 type conservative. So yeah, these are really anxious times. I'm not going to dispute that whatsoever. However, look up the myth of the white raven, because here is the white raven coming to dispel this darkness. So again, very much about protecting yourself emotionally, protecting yourself intellectually. Don't succumb to the fear. Fear and worry are based in events that may never happen. The best way to take control of fear and worry is to actually write down what it is that you can do for your situation, and only you know what that can be. I can advise you, other readers can advise you, people within your community can advise you, but only you know what you can do for your specific situation. Write down any option that springs to mind, brainstorm them, no matter how crazy they may appear. We are at a time where crazy might be the path that is right for you. So, again, just know that this too will pass. It will pass. Don't succumb if you can. It's easy to say, look, to be honest, I have moments, even knowing what is coming, and that it's going to be okay. Even I have moments where I've just put my head into my hands and I just, holy crumbs, almost weep with the anxiety of it in the moment. Deep breath and it passes. So very much know that change is coming. Know that it is for the better. Change is always difficult, always painful. And the reason why we're going through such a horrific, painful process of change at the moment, is because humans, we were given the opportunity multiple times in the decades leading up to now to actually instigate this change, and we chose to ignore it. We chose to put a band-aid over a seeping ulcer. We chose to plaster over a 2-inch crack in the wall, instead of actually fixing the foundations of the issue. And that's why it's reached this desperation point where it can no longer be ignored, this need for change. Okay, I'm going to do an energy spread, which is slightly different. Let's see where this goes. The energy behind the scenes. Absolutely. It's very much about we have been pouring ourselves emotionally and spiritually into this black hole, this bottomless pit, this dark well of with false um uh this false promise in it. So again, this is getting back to what I was saying about for decades when we've been just putting the band-aid over the weeping ulcer, we've been putting the plastering over the crack that is expanding because we have been pouring ourselves emotionally and spiritually into this bottomless pit that will never be fulfilled on this false promise that this light of all that is good and wonderful will come to the surface, and it is absolute BS. This light will never come to the surface. It will just require more and more on the spiritual and emotional level to be poured into it to keep the status quo. We absolutely need to turn our attention to what we are not looking at, the opportunities that we are not looking at, to the seeds to plant for the future that we are not looking at. Absolutely. To create magic going forward. It's very, as humans, we don't like change. Change makes us uncomfortable, but the only constant in life is change. Cast your mind back to where we were 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago and see how much change has occurred. The only constant in life is change. Okay. The second the second energies behind the scenes is the Queen of Pentacles. Self-care, self-nurturing, self-protection, but also embracing. Be the soft place to land for others. Be the nurturing queen. Tap into your intuition. Embrace nature. Um, Serenity. Sit in the serenity. Go for a walk in nature if you can, or down to the local gardens or parks. This is very much is about self-healing, self-protection, but also healing and nurturing of others through sitting in a space of serenity and calm and knowledge and acceptance. So powerful behind the scenes cards here. The energy coming out of this Five of Cups is we have to choose a path forward. We cannot blunder blindfoldly through life. We actually have to make a conscious decision about what path forward we want for us. So it's time to take the blindfold off and expect others to come in and provide the solutions. It's time to take the blindfold off of literally blindly blundering along with the status quo. This is about taking the blindfold off and looking at options and making conscious choices about which path forward you want to take. There is one path, if you have a look at this card, there is one path that embraces your higher self. That is the path that you are meant to be on. But you have to take the blindfold off before you can see it clearly. I'm just going to bring you down ever so slightly more. Okay. And then get on your bike and make it happen. The Knight of Swords. So this is about shifting your emotional focus and your spiritual focus, connecting into your intuition, your nurturing, your healing, your protection, making a conscious choice and then taking action with that choice. The karma hanging over us at the moment, the King of Pentacles. This is about, kings are about uh, external, queens are internal. So we've got the queen here, the energy behind the scenes, the internal. We're now moving the karma over us is to move into the external, the doing of the protection, the nurturing, the healing. I do love that we've got the books in behind there, education, self-education, seeking knowledge. But yes, very much about protection and then movement forward. Knight of Pentacles. So we've got Knight, Queen, King. Very much about, again, an action card. Knights being action, is action, taking action on the kings, and the queens are very much about the higher level connection. The knights are the actual doing. So this is about then making slow and steady progress forward while shedding and sharing this energy, sharing it with others. Steady progress forward, because I trust that the universe has got your back, because we are at a new beginning. Have faith that this is the path that we are meant to be on. You can either allow yourself to be the victim and take no action, or you can choose to take the action itself. Because this is the path, whichever way you choose to go, this is the path we are meant to be on. It is all about giving and receiving help, embracing others. What goes around comes around. Now, it's not about giving somebody money, expecting it to come back, as in, paying for a meal in a cafe or something and expecting next time to go in and have your meal paid for. No, this is very much about pass it forward, helping those less, that are more vulnerable than yourself, knowing that at some stage it will be returned, but not necessarily in kind. We are going through unexpected times where pigs can fly, but we are going to feel like we're cut in half, where our brains are all over the place, we're skew-if, but this period, if we sit in love and integrity, we will get through. And here is the inspirational female. What have we got? 3 queens. 3 queens? Yes, we have 3 queens. Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands. Nurturing and healing, emotional, inspirational messaging, and inspiring of others. So what I'm getting from this card is the youth, the new generation coming through, the Gen Zers, the creatives, because another meaning of this card is the creatives, of those that see the world differently, the new way of consciousness where pigs can fly. So I'm just going to say our role in this, my role in this as a Gen Xer, is to be the inspiration, give the solid foundation for these Gen Z to dream of what can be, to create this new world that we are going into, be the inspiration for them, the encouragement for them on a physical and spiritual level. Because this is new opportunity, new beginning. This is being offered to us in the here and now. A new beginning, a new world, a new opportunity. It is up to us whether we accept it, plant it, nurture it, and embrace it. It's going to be different. It is going to be, I'm just going to say it's going to be different. It's going to be better. But we have to get through the here and now. And how do we get through the here and now? Making the conscious decision to do so, because this is the journey we are meant to be on. Oh, I love these cards. Absolutely love these cards. I'm just glancing at the next couple to see what. No, okay, I am going to show the next couple. I'm feeling this is the end of this because we are being presented with with this journey we are being presented with new, and it is fabulous. New, fabulous. The youth coming through, it's going to be different, but we need to step into this role. Now, when I'm talking about queens, it doesn't just mean women. I mean, you've got Bernie and Tim out there. Goodness me, what wonderful energy that they have, where they are connected in with their divine feminine. Now, the divine feminine is about nurturing, about healing, about caring. It doesn't matter whether you're male or female. If they connect into those energies, how fabulous in comparison to the likes of, oh gosh, I don't even want to let his name cross my lips, but Andrew Tate and his brother. Goodness me, aren't they looking awful? Evil within expresses with decay without on the surface. And he's just been, apparently his ex-girlfriend has come forward and with some horrific accusations against him, which I totally believe. But what a different energy. We're talking about this energy, which is what is needed going forward. And that awful energy of those that are after, look at the cards, there's no destruction, there's no nastiness in this spread. This is very much about action being taken to heal, spreading the message, working with others, healing, nurturing, caring, the opportunity to go forward, encouraging the youth. The only, not so pleasant cards are this one, the worry, which is the challenge. That's why you've got here, emotionally protect yourself in the 3D. And this one here, where we need to make a choice about where we are putting our attention. Are we putting our attention into this false promise, or are we going to turn our attention to the new, the opportunities, the joy, the seeds there of diversity, unity to be planted? All the opportunities in here. Now, this is the Cups card, but in that cup in the background, surely they look like pentacles, which are about pentacles of every colour to go forward. So this is a beautiful reading, but I am going to put these cards aside because I'm going to continue with the next couple of cards that they're showing me. And as I put them aside, I do love that on the bottom we've got here, plan coming to fruition, where we broaden our horizons, where we look overseas at how we personally can improve. Now, there was something where, what was it? Oh, okay. In our lead up to our election, current Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, I'll call him Albo as Australians do, ALBO, he has talked about supermarkets price gouging. And what he plans, if he's re-elected, is to look overseas at European countries where they have already dealt with this issue to bring the plans onto Australian soils. This is about a need to broaden the horizons in regards to the global community and look at what works overseas, how overseas countries do things for the betterment of their citizens and their environment and the world as a whole, and embrace and bring to our own shores what is working overseas. But as I put those aside, do I keep going on the bottom here? I can do. So the cards on the bottom, we've got this looking overseas. Do not get caught up in the emotional turmoil of what is happening, because if we do, we will not see our path forward clearly. This is getting caught up in the emotional indecision of the snake and the rat and the bat and we know who the rat is and we know who the snake is and we suspect we know who the bat is. This is very much about ensuring you don't get caught up in the emotional turmoil of it all, because otherwise you won't see your path forward. We are stepping into the energy of unity and coming together, where we can create magic coming together, where we embrace our spirituality. There's a dark side and a light side. Yes, I will agree that this is very much about the higher intuition of the feminine energy, where we connect with spirit. And I'm just going to put it out there. This is why the evangelicals are fighting so hard, because they know this energy is coming. It is why the patriarchal oligarchs are fighting so hard, because they know they're at the end of their time and they're desperately trying to hang on. We are stepping into an age where we acknowledge our own spirituality and our own connection with universal energy and with our own inner, to quote Cash Peters, our Christ energy, our direct connection. We don't need the Joel Osteen's or whatever his name is to connect with God or with Muhammad or with whomever else is the divine spiritual uh, I, I was going to say external energy, but they're not external because they are internal. And that's why these organizations, this organized religion is fighting back so hard, because they can see that they are becoming defunct. And it's the same with the patriarchal oligarchy. They can see that we are shifting from top down to bottom up, and that makes them more desperate to hang on. So just know that we are shifting into this energy. We are looking to the future, where we embrace science, where we embrace knowledge, where we embrace wisdom, the feminine wisdom as well, where we remove the emotion, where we remove the emotion from the facts. Where this can be going back to a simpler time, but this is more about emotional loyalty. Now, I'm not talking about emotional loyalty as in blackmail emotional loyalty. This is about deciding what is really important. About, and I'm going to quote it again because I love this, the blood of the covenant, the people you choose to be in your life, is thicker than the water of the womb. Where we enter our feminine strengths, we call on our courage, where we are empathic and compassionate without giving away our power. This is this new energy. We are starting to see, as a collective, Now, there will always be an element that will not move into this new energy because so anger comes from fear. If you understand that anger comes from fear, and they are fearful of this change because they do not understand it. Fear comes from not understanding, of ignorance. That's why these autocratic, dictatorship, authoritarian, whatever you like to call them, leaders are so hell-bent on othering because and pigeonholing and stereotyping, etc. Venezuelan gang members with tattoos, because if you actually knew these people as people, you would not fear them, and then you would not, and I'm not saying Venezuelan gangs, I'm talking about those that were rounded up and sent off. They are being stereotyped and they are being othered and they are being pigeonholed, because if you knew them as people, genuine refugees who are in fear of their lives and who have dreams and hopes and aspirations and want to live in peace, you would not fear them. And it's the same with the Palestinians, othering the Palestinians, calling them all terrorists and they're all Hamas. No, they are mothers and sons and children and grandmothers and grandfathers who just want to live in peace in their own, where they can feel safe. But by othering them, these whatever you like to call them, they create fear, and out of fear comes hate. And they know that they can tap into that hate. Now, there will always be an element that do not move over into this strength of compassion, this fire, because they cannot move on from the fear, and out of the fear comes hate. But they are the minority. And we just need to understand that we will not, they just will not be changed. Let them go. They chose this soul spirit journey to be in the body that they are in now, and please read Journey of Souls because it talks about this as well. They chose to come down into a human body that is full of fear and therefore hate, to learn, to overcome, to let go, but for whatever reason they don't. They will pass on. They will choose another life. They will go to their graves. They will pass on. The soul spirit will return to the universal energies. They will choose another life to again repeat, to try and learn that lesson. For the rest of us, we are embracing this higher, this light, and we are seeing the world differently. We are at an end of a cycle where we need to let go so that we can step over into this new horizon, this new beginning, this end of cycle where we embrace unity and community and come together emotionally. But again, two ends of cycle, and you're not going to believe what the next card is. End of cycle. About tearing down all that does not serve us so that we can rebuild. And if we choose not to tear down, it will be torn down on us. So we either are passive observers of this happening, or we step in and choose and take action. So this is about deciding what is really important in your life that you want to hold on to, and let go of the rest. And what might be really important in your life is time with your grandchildren, moving to be closer to family or friends, embracing your spirituality, your connection with universe. It's not Great Aunt Mary's mahogany dining table that's taking up your entire living room so that you can't have friends over. It's not buying 50 products on Temu because they were 50 cents each and you end up with a house full of plastic trash. This is very much about deciding internally what it is within you, in connection with your soul spirit. What is the lesson that you are meant to learn? It can be relationships that you need to let go of. You cannot bring new into your life if you're holding on to the old that does not serve you. Absolutely. Oh gosh, I'm going to keep going because these cards are amazing. It is about you stepping into your power, deciding what you want your life to be. The tree of life up there, deciding what you want your life to be. And it doesn't matter what age you are, whether you're 28 or 88. Deciding what you want your future to look like and stepping into your authority and your power and taking the steps to make it happen. There's no express elevator up here. You have to take the steps, and it starts with the first step, and the first step may simply be deciding to let go or deciding to not fear or deciding to turn off the news or deciding to make a list or whatever it is. Take the first step, and from that first step, the second step will be revealed to you. And you have to decide to take it. This is huge energy. Your actions will have consequences. Now, I know this is the justice card. This is not justice as in the legal system. This is justice about weighing the scales and deciding, embracing what you like, what you are within, knowing that your actions have consequences. This is about looking in the mirror of your soul and actually liking what you see. Embracing your true self, knowing that your actions will have consequences in the scales of life. And then you draw this sword, which is an action, the sword of truth, the sword of reality. Can be a brutal reality and a harsh truth, but drawing the sword and seeing and acknowledging it for what it truly is. Embracing relationships, understanding that partnerships and relationships are not about dominance and subservience. They are about equality. But when I say equality, it doesn't mean you can both do the same thing. It's about each person taking the lead in the area that they have the ability in. For example, I'm designing a new house. My husband wouldn't have a clue where to start, but he will support me in doing so. So I am taking the lead on this new home. He will take the lead about probably laying the flooring for me in it. With my help, of course. But very much it's about, look at these major arcana we're getting. All positive. It's about embracing the blood of the covenant. We have the choice to stay in this inaction of fear, or we can step up to pick up the key to unlock the door to the opportunities going forward. It is our choice. We can choose to move forward, or we can choose to stay in the energy we are. It is our choice. And to step out of this takes courage. Absolutely embracing courage. It is our choice to step into this energy of balance, of yin and yang. Trust your archangels, trust your guides that they want to bring you this balance. We all have choices. Look at all the choices that are on offer to you. Write them down. Don't make any rash decisions, but really look at all the options that are available to you. Because I think you will find that they are more than what you realize. And once you do that, you will find doors will open, new doors will open, that you can step through. The world is about the ending of a cycle, which means a beginning of a new cycle, but she's stepping through the completion of this cycle into the new. It's so important that we don't sit in the energy of would have, should have, could have, that we look at the opportunities that are being presented to us that we may not be considering. This is if only I had done this in the past. Past is gone. There's nothing we can do to change the past. We only have what we have on the table in the here and now to go forward, and we can create magic going forward with that. I'm going to pop that card back because I want these to be the finishing cards. Just going to throw a couple from the top here. 7 of Swords. The fear, the betrayal, it's getting projected loudly, trust me. The stealing, this feeling of betrayal and having something stolen from us. Trust us. The light is being shone on it. It is being exposed. We have the choice, just like that 2 of Swords, we have the choice to stay in the what is, or we can step out into the unknown, where we can dream. So dreaming of what can be, we can either stay and in the same old inaction, or we can choose to step beyond the window into the what can be that we don't know what it is yet. Again, this is very much about accepting I'm going to say the devil we know versus potential that we don't. Plant those seeds. Even if they're just ideas at this stage, plant those seeds of what can be. Let them, I was going to say ferment, but that's more about making a kombucha. Let them sprout. Let them nurture them. Let them grow. Into what can be. And I'm just going to say the only thing that's holding us back from moving into this new energy is our own internal fears. This figure here, unbound, can walk away from this mirror at any time. The contrast between this card and, where is it? This card. Embracing. Fearful. Holding us back, allowing us to move forward into what can be. Wow. Powerful message. Powerful message for a Monday morning. Just going to draw a couple of cards on my Nature's Whispers Oracle, which my guides advised me to bring to the table. Haven't used this deck for ages. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck. So, what do we need to know, guys? Summing up that energy. Summing up that energy. What is we need to know? Go forward. A little bit too big. If you're ever designing cards, smaller sizes, they can be shuffled as great. So they're big because the detail of the artwork on these are amazing. What message do you have for us? What message do you have for us that we need to know in the here and now? Just to sum up this reading. Actually feeling really heavy. They want that one on the bottom. But giving me two cards there. The first card, Inner Truths. Shine the light on the brutal honesty of the inner truths that we are holding on to, the fears that perhaps we are holding on to, the misconceptions that we are perhaps holding on to, anything that is holding us back in this cavern. Shine a light on them and see them for what they truly are. Did you want that card? Yes. They're telling me assurance. The universe has got you. Absolutely. The universe has got your back in regards to this. In regards and heighten your vitality. Step into the higher. Absolutely. Heighten your light. Open your heart. Brighten the potentials and observe. Look at deeply the light, possibilities, what will be. And then take your ideal course of action. I didn't even look actually at the next one I got. Yeah, and then take action. So it is a process. Shine the light in your on your thought process, on your way of potentially seeing the world. Exposing what is keeping you confined. Because if you have a look at this picture, there are all these options to step out from this darkness into beauty, into freedom. Now, freedom has many meanings, but to shine the light on the inner, so that you can understand the subconscious message that you are telling yourself. And it's not until you acknowledge it that you can change it for something better if you need to. Know that you are supported in this process. You are not alone. Embrace all that can be. And then take action. Very much these cards remind me of that Hierophant, of stepping into your power, your authority, deciding what you can do, and then starting the process to do. Oh boy. Thank you for joining me. Love to you all. I shall see you shortly.